Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who tonight you can call me Mr. C. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Big Brother 26 recap here for Wednesday night, Veto edition. Got a good one for you here today. Back here with a guy who is not going to do the pot, okay? It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
Look, I'm just excited to be here. I just hope we can extend this intro for at least 20 minutes to fill out the space in this podcast. I think that would be a great idea.
Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Okay. Excited to have back here with us on the recap, coming off of another successful appearance on the slop this week. It's Chappell. Chappell, how are you?
I'm good. No, Rob, I'm great. I'm very good. I'm excited. I'm so excited. You could not have told me that I was going to be here tonight, but you know what? I had the faith of a mustard seed, y'all. I'm here, and I get to talk to my auntie. Yes, it's time.
Yes, it's time. We got a great guest. So excited to have back, or have here with us for the first time from Big Brother 25. It's Felicia Cannon. Felicia, how are you?
I am wonderful. Happy to be here with all three of you guys, and excited to talk to the fans. And so let's do this.
Let's do this. Felicia, how are you?
I really am wonderful. Wonderful. No complaints. Life is good. And I'm okay.
Okay. How's the real estate business?
Ooh, slow. It is slow. I can't deny it, but I'm trying to still find ways to just get in there and keep clients.
Okay. All right. Should people look you up if they are looking to make a purchase soon?
Absolutely. If you want to sell your house, list your house, we're willing to be the listing agents, and we do the open houses. I will get people walking through your homes. And if you're a buyer, particularly first-time home buyers and veterans, that's where my heart is at. And so I like working with that group of people, because I'm trying to get the young people particularly to know that you don't have to rent till you're 40. Go get some property of your own and start this wealth growth at a younger age. And then the veterans, I have a heart for veterans. And, veterans, you get 100% financing. You can't do better than that. And so, yes, Team Cannon, Berkshire Hathaway, look me up.
Okay.
Anyone that saw Felicia on the live feeds knows she knows how to do a negotiation. So
yes, I do. I can talk you. I can out-talk you all day.
Yes. All right, Felicia, will you be potentially collaborating with Angela on any real estate deals?
I need to, because where is she at? What area is she
Utah,
from?
I think, right?
Mm-hmm. So actually when I do, if I go to the finale, I am going to connect with her so that we can do like that referral thing. She sends people to Georgia.
Okay.
She hooks me up. I send people to Utah. I'm going to hook her up.
Okay. All right. This is good. A good network going. All right.
Yes.
So we've got a lot to talk about here from this episode. A historic night for OTEV. A cliffhanger for the veto. See, this is what happens, Taran. They take away the AI arena, and now all of a sudden, we're pushing the veto into Thursday.
Well, understandable when you have so much content for the veto competition.
They couldn't fit it all in.
Look, it was OTEV. It's a long competition, a lot to get through, so it's understandable why they might need to push some things.
Mm-hmm. So, Felicia, could you tell us, how are you feeling about Big Brother 26?
In the beginning, the first few weeks, I thought it was actually kind of boring. I'm going to say that out loud. But when I tell you, these guys, when they say expect the unexpected, the stuff that they're doing this season is really unbelievable. They're making moves where you're scratching your head saying, why'd they do that? I mean, and I don't want to spoil anything, but just what happens with Mackensy and her winning the veto and what she does. And you just keep saying, Angela has angels around her. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
In the name.
Angela has some angels, because for some reason they just keep deciding that they need to keep Angela in the house. They're going to look up on finale nights. She's going to be in them 2 chairs, and she's going to win.
Wow. Okay. Angelo, the winner of Big Brother 26, you're calling it.
Well, now, I don't think she's actually going to go all the way. But I'm just saying, with the I really
It's
don't.
possible.
But with the moves that they're making, I just keep saying, why do they keep saving Angela? I do believe when they get down to about 4 or 5, they're going to get rid of her.
Yeah. Felicia,
think she has maybe
what is
about
it
2
about
more weeks.
Angela? Why do people keep saving her from the block?
I think because they actually just don't see her as the biggest threat. They don't believe that she's going to win a comp from them. Now, she's won HOH twice. So I'm not sure why they have that mindset. But when it comes to the vetoes, which are a lot of times more physical competitions, they don't believe they have to worry about her. She's a wild card. And I think they actually believe that nobody in the end would give her the 750. But you'd be surprised at that last conversation when they have to say why they think they should win. The person that sells themselves, people a lot of times make those on the spot decisions. And you could look up and the next thing you know, you're saying, oh my God, Angela actually won.
Yeah. Felicia, do you think that there's anything to Angela being a realtor? Is that part of like closing the sale?
No. I think she's just gotten lucky and I'm certainly not taking away from Angela. But she plays a very paranoid game and she stirs the pot a lot. But I think they truly believe she's not a threat to them. And that's why they don't mind carrying her, because they're getting people out that they believe are better strategists and have more alliances. And they're going to get Angela out when they feel like they don't need her anymore.
Okay. All right. So let's, I'd love to get your thoughts on Chelsie here on her second HOH. How do you think she's doing, Felicia?
Well, I thought she was doing good until I watched the show today. And then after having watched some live feeds, you know, and again, not wanting to spoil, but it reminds me of us last year when we have a decision and then it seems like every hour, every 2 hours, well, maybe we should do this. You know, I've been thinking about it and maybe that's not the, and they just keep shifting. And so I think a lot of times they get in the heads of too many people instead of making decisions that are good for them. They feel like they have to have the house's approval on everything they do. Now, that's the thing I actually kind of liked about Tucker. Tucker didn't care. He's like, I'm doing what I want to do. And now that got him put out the game. So was it smart gameplay? You know, but I like.
But as a viewer,
right? I like the fact that he was still willing to play his game and didn't feel like he needed to get everybody in the house's opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the balance is that you do what's best for your game and you convince everybody that they had input on it, right?
Exactly. That's the key, making them believe that you took what they said into consideration. And, oh, you know, I really thought it and that was a good idea. And yeah. I think these guys haven't found, I actually see Chelsie going to the end. I see her in those final 2 chairs. And Mackensy has surprised me. Mackensy was whining a couple weeks ago and I kept saying, Mackensy, you're not on the block. Shut up. Why are you putting yourself in the forefront and you're not even on the block and you're talking about, well, I want anybody aligned with me and I don't know but she's playing a much smarter game now. Although I think if she's not careful, she's going to get herself in trouble because she's trying to also play both sides of the house and everybody in the house. And I think it's going to catch up with her if she's not careful.
Yeah, I think that like a few weeks ago, Quinn had been saying that he felt like that I think he said Leah was the Bowie Jane of the season or something like that. But we were saying no, I think it's actually MJ. Like MJ was like the person who just was looking for anybody to take her in. And somehow managed to convince Quinn, aka the Corey of the season, that he had her for no reason. And secretly she was locked up with a trio that will beat her in the end.
Right. I think Leah and MJ in their own way are both playing kind of a Bowie Jane game. Leah more so in the sense that she never feeds you anything. She never really says what she wants to do. She just takes in what everybody else says they're going to do, and then she feeds the information when it's necessary. Mackensy talks too much. Bowie Jane didn't do that much talking. That's where Mackensy, that's why I say if Mackenzie's not careful, she's going to find herself on the block because she's spilling the beans a little bit too much.
This episode ends tonight with Quinn being in a tough spot after Angela ends up ratting out what she thought she heard. Felicia, what have you thought about Quinn this season?
Quinn actually did a great job of befriending everybody in the house. He's built great relationship. Even when he got caught in lies and was manipulating, he still has always managed to somehow come back and get in people's good graces. And it'll be interesting to see if he goes home tomorrow. I'm actually wanting Quinn to go home tomorrow, especially if they end up doing something where they pull Angela down or what have you. But I don't know. He seems to have a way of maneuvering back in people's good graces. So he's a good game player. He knows the game. He knows how to strategize. He makes everybody believe that he's with them, for them, all of that. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I do think that he has overplayed a couple of times. I think the biggest mistake they made was when they got rid of Cedric. I think if they had not made that move, that was T-Core and Chemo. But I think that was a bad move on those guys' part back then. Although everything happens for a reason. This has just been a crazy, interesting season where you just really can't predict what anybody's going to do.
No.
Yeah, I think you're right about Quinn too. Like he does have this thing about him where people just kind of like forgive him for things and come back to Quinn. But going back to your season, I remember we talked a lot about like how Cirie had been caught in so many lies over the course of the season that eventually, no matter how good she is, you're like, I know your tricks at this point. And I feel like something kind of similar has happened to Quinn at right now, where it's like they've caught him in so many different spots where he had so many different final twos and he was lying to everyone. So even when they are like, oh, we do like Quinn, but he has turned on a lot of people in the past.
He has. And again, that's where the downfall is. Because like you said with Cirie had everybody in the house. Everybody really in the house really liked Cirie. And so that was what kept her in the house, because she had a way of making you believe everything that she said. Even when she got caught in lies, she was always able to maneuver her way back in and get on your good side. But at some point that does catch up with you and they realize that, we can't carry her to the end because she has been able to align so well. People just might give her the money. And I really do believe if Quinn gets to the end, I do believe he would get that money.
So let me ask a question. Now, Taran, did you happen to catch Mr. Announcer Man at the end of the episode? And he said, and tune in Thursday night and find out, what does Ainsley have planned next?
I hope and assume that it's a double eviction next week.
Double eviction. Okay. Would they pin that on Ainsley, a double eviction? I'm just wondering, could it be, as we enter the jury phase, Felicia, could this be potentially Quinn or whoever could leave on Thursday night and then potentially somebody's coming back in?
Absolutely. I do believe, I said when Ainsley left, I said they're going to bring her back to do something else. She's not done yet. I believe they're going to have one or two more twists because they still have to keep it interesting between now and, October. I believe they're going to have a couple more twists, and I believe it's going to be more than just a double eviction because everybody knows that's coming. So it's going to be something that's unexpected.
What do you think, Chappell?
I'm so sick of this damn robot Ainsley. I don't know what to do. When I heard the announcer say, and let's see what Ainsley has coming up, I was like, God damn, I thought we got rid of her. Her and the blue hair and the blue face and all this stuff. But bro, what are we doing?
I love Ainsley.
Listen, she cool or whatever, but let me tell you something. At some point, I need these people to be able to play their game and not have to worry about a zombie week or something like that weird happening where something we do a whole week and it doesn't matter. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It made my booty itch a little bit when I heard her name. I said, Ainsley, God dang, again. It's like that one itch you can't just quite reach that just won't ever go away. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I have my trepidation, but I hear you. It would be fun to spice up the game. Give me the double eviction though. I don't want to buy back. Give me the double eviction. Let's get on to some more exciting moments.
Is that it, Felicia? You want to spice up the game like all the spices you were asking Mr. B for?
Right. Well, the only frustration with the bringing somebody back, it always seems to be the one person that everybody wants to get out of the house. That's the person they allow a second opportunity, and that's a little unnerving, and I think a little unfair, because that lets you know who, and I shouldn't say this, but it's almost like production decides who they want to stay longer in the game, and that's when they decide to do one of these twists. So I don't know. I think though, if Quinn were to go out, I believe they're going to find a way to bring him back in.
Look, this is how we ended up with Cam staying way too long. So shit like this, you know,
way too long.
You know what I'm saying? Shit like the Jag winning the game after getting voted out third or fourth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's what I'm saying. So I think it's cute, Ainsley, but let's keep it cute. There are people in here playing the game well. I think they should be rewarded for playing the game well. Throwing these extra things in here to save your faves and stuff like that. You should have did that when Tucker went out. You should have did that way back then because everybody loved him, right? Do that. Right. It would have been understandable. Now you got to pretend like you like Quinn, like y'all didn't just like America didn't just put him on the block halfway through the season. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Let's not shift gears too much, Ainsley. I'm starting to look at Ainsley a little funny, Miss Felicia. Right. I'm sorry. Keep playing games. Not a fan. Okay. Not a fan.
Yeah. Taran, I wasn't thinking anything about like bringing anybody back, but I'm just a little nervous. Like Chappell said, the itch, it's there a little bit just because it's the start of the jury.
It's possible. I just feel like I don't feel like it's there. I don't feel like they're gonna bring somebody back. I feel like
I hope they don't. Because they still have 9 people. So 7, they don't have 7 more weeks of play. They only have 5 weeks of play.
Yeah, I mean the finale is like a month from now.
They have like 5 weeks of play, and so 4 more people, a double eviction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've got to do something else though to get down to the numbers that they have to get down to. So it is going to be interesting.
Yeah. You know, I'd love to talk about this divide or potential divide in the House with the trios going on. And really, I feel like that it didn't really get talked about too much tonight. The T-Core, Chemo, Rabina trio. Felicia, is anybody taking them seriously?
I think so, but I guess I get tickled by these guys, but we got to break that up. Well, you guys have a 5-person alliance, and that's okay, but you got these 3 people over here, and everybody feels like they have to break these 3 up because that's 3 people at the end who are all gonna vote for each other. Okay, well, what about you 5 over here? So what you're really saying is your guys 5, you guys really aren't that connected because you ain't worried about you 5. It doesn't make sense to me. It's just like what I didn't understand is when T-Core and Chemo got rid of Cedric because they felt like they were at the bottom of that alliance, but then you aligned with Tucker and you were at the bottom of that alliance. So what was the purpose of that?
Mm-hmm. I agree. And for it to be 3 of them, you can tell they're a really tight-knit 3 because like you said, that 5 is like, that's who we need to be going after. That's our biggest threat. But if you feel that way and you have Chemo on the block, shouldn't we be targeting Chemo? Like if you really feel that way, but then, you get a wild hair, maybe, I don't know, some Karen wakes up in the middle of the night and says, I just feel like people are talking about me. And I feel like they're talking about me. And I know I can read their body language. And I know that these people are conspiring against me. And if you let this one Karen get in your ear and then the wheels start spinning, you start saying, that 3 is cute. But there are bigger moves I can make here. And now we're looking at Mackensy toying with the idea of putting Quinn up, all because of Angela waking up in the middle of the night. When that lady
has a 6th sense.
She has 6th sense.
When that lady don't sleep, bad things happen. Look, this stuff is cute inside the Big Brother house, but keep that shit inside the house. Keep that Karen stuff inside the house. This is how people get killed outside the house. Stop playing.
Okay.
Look, stop playing.
Look,
I'm sorry.
Every time Angela don't get a good night's sleep and she gets in her own head, she's her own worst enemy.
Right.
Okay, now Taran, you were saying that you thought that she could get a Dan Giesling type edit here, saving herself. What did you think about the edit that Angela got?
I feel like there wasn't any edit, really. I mean, it was 2 segments. Like I just really felt like this whole sequence was underserved in the episode because it was so wild that like how it happened, where Angela went to them. They fully believed her at first. And then they kind of came around to this idea of like, oh, well, we're definitely targeting Leah then. But then it switched to Quinn, and it was like, which one is it going to be? And it just, I don't know, it just felt like it was very rushed here, that we didn't really see any of Angela talking to Leah about it afterward, and like Leah freaking out. And maybe we'll get some of that in Thursday's episode, but like, there's more stuff to show in Thursday's episode. Like this, I felt, I don't know. I feel like every time I get excited for an episode, because I'm like, oh, there's a lot of good content, I end up
They
being
don't
let
show
down.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of the content that you think is going to land on TV, it doesn't. And you're like, man, they had so much more content they should have showed to really give you a feel about what's going on. But again, that goes back to my comment where they paint the picture of these house guests to give the persona that they want to give.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in the real time, was anybody talking about working together from the 5 that Angela overheard?
No, she made
They were
it up.
just sitting outside. They were literally just sitting outside talking about nothing.
Her eyes just popped open like Squidward, and she just got up out of the bed and was like, you know what? I need to sneak around the house and find something because it's too quiet in here. I'm too safe. I feel like people are coming for me because it's too many people have given me their loyalty, give me their word. That can't be true because I'm Angela. So she goes outside. They stop talking about whatever nonsense they were talking about. I think Chemo and Quinn are talking about, hey, you want to make out? Like just randomness. And she's seen enough. She said, oh, that's it. That's all I need to know. I can tell.
Right.
She said, I can read body language. This woman has had so many bad reads, but she's going to tell us that she has all of this on point. I like the edit that she got because it's showing us that although she thinks that she's on point, she's stumbling into some good moments because this seems like it's going to work out for her.
Okay, well, Chappell, now we have seen Angela with all of this paranoia throughout the season. Do you think that maybe it's not a good idea?
And if you guys have a pot, I'm going to have a pot too.
Should she maybe not try the
Have a pot?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about this, and I feel like she would have slept. She would get better sleep if she tried the pot.
Better sleep.
If she had the pot,
sleep.
yeah.
Yeah, if she got some sleep. Like, I feel like it would calm her down. Now, the paranoia, though, has been known to be a side effect of the pot sometimes. But I really do think that just try it, Angela, and see. Because at this point, what you've been doing is not working. You know, it's like, well, you tried it your way. Try drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I think the problem is that every time she finds her person, right, like her number one ally, she just keeps her eyes on them.
I want to know where Tucker is at all times. My eyes are on that kid.
And then she finds something that she's like, oh no, Tucker, I see what you did. And then she betrays them. And then she turned her eyes to Leah. And Rob, it was just last week we were talking about it. How long is this gonna last?
Yeah.
And boy, it didn't last long because she was watching Leah like a hawk. And hey, Leah, don't you be talking to those people without me? Don't you? I see you making alliances.
Yeah, it's such a good point. You know, I really thought that she was gonna. Okay, this is like she has her daughters. This is Leah gonna remind her of her daughters. But you're right that she, like, whatever she watches, she then has hallucinations, and maybe she's had more than the pot because she hallucinates and she sees things that aren't there with these people. The more she looks at something, the more she sees these ghosts.
Miss Felicia, do they have shrooms in the house?
No.
Mushroom for cooking.
No, they don't. So
okay.
That's just Angela being Angela. And you're right. Last week she loved Leah, and that was going to be her. But she was taking her to the end. It was like her daughter. Now this week it's become Mackensy, and now she loves her, and they're hoping they can stay aligned. And she's told Quinn that she has everybody. It's whoever is convenient for her, who she thinks might save her. That's who she loves that week.
The best way to play with Angela is hide from her.
It's not
Right.
play with her. Avoid her.
Yeah.
Avoid her at all costs. You know, I really was questioning Leah's thought process last week because she's like, I'm going to save Angela because I really want to get her to jury. And I was thinking, okay, well, you know, if you feel like you can trust Angela, that's weird. But she's like, no, she doubled down in this episode. We saw in the diary room that Leah only saved her so she could get her to jury. And now she wants to like separate herself from her, which is a wild thing to try to do, right? To bring her in and then push her away is just going to make these alarm bells go off in her head. When in reality,
Poor Joseph.
you should have realized a long time ago that Joseph would have laid his game down for you. He would have fallen on his sword. Quinn would have done the same thing and is currently doing it. He can't even properly campaign for himself because he's like, well, I don't want, you know, maybe I'll buy Leah a dirt bike. I don't know. No, you had Joseph and Quinn who are just living and breathing for your every word. But you're like, I should keep Angela. Now look at you.
That really was a dumb move. Although I'll be honest, I wanted Joseph to go, so I was happy about that. But
why did you want Joseph to go?
I didn't like the game that Joseph was playing. When Joseph sits there and says, I don't have to do nothing. I'm playing like Dr. Will, and I'm going to go all the way to the end and not win nothing, not do nothing, and they're all going to give me the money because everybody likes me. He was so unaware of what was going on. He was crazy. Joseph needed to go. You notice he was always a minute the veto ceremony or the nomination. Every time a ceremony was over, he's the first one to walk out the room, and he was always sitting by himself. He really didn't have any awareness of his relationship with people. And so Joseph needed to go. But I didn't understand, Leah, just the thought of why would you take Angela off the block? And then I look at Quinn and say, Leah took your nomination down and put up somebody else, and now you still want to work with her. What is wrong with you guys?
He begged her not to do it. He begged her not to do it. Just like this episode, he begging Mackensy not. Mackensy, what are you talking about? She's like, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna have to use it on Angela. I don't know what Chelsea's gonna do. He's like, please don't do that. No, I think I'm gonna have to. I just think for my guy, like, Quinn, these people ain't loyal to you. They don't love you like you love them. And you got to separate yourself, baby. Stand up.
This is when the game really gets hard, when you get down to jury and you're managing now who you're going to wipe out, and you really have to try to make everybody believe you're with them, because the HOH and who goes up on that block, it makes all the difference in the world. And so now this managing of relationships really becomes hard.
Felicia, is there something that Quinn could say to Chelsie to get her to not put him up on the block as a replacement?
Well, I mean, like the conversations that they showed today, where he goes to her and says, listen, I'm not coming after anybody in our 5, but Leah is part of the 5. And so I don't know if there's anything, he's lost his trust with them. They don't truly trust him. Kind of like Corey, where as much as I wanted to work with Corey last year, I said, you know, Corey, I like you. I think you're a great person. I said, but I don't trust you as far as I can see.
Yeah.
Because every time you walk out the room, you go do something else that doesn't even make sense.
Well, what is Quinn doing, though, that they don't trust him? Because that, from what, again...
He keeps lying.
But what does he lie about? Because just in terms of what he's done, though, in his actions, like he said, okay, when Tucker went home, he said, okay, these are the people that voted out Tucker. I'm loyal to this group. He tried to, protect them as much as possible. He put Joseph up on the block because he's like, I can't put any of the people that voted out Tucker up on the block. He says, I'm loyal to this group. And they said, no, you're lying to us.
Well, but so he's supposed to be in this group with the 5, and then he's supposed to also be aligned with Rubina and, Chemo and T-Core.
Yeah.
And Rubina. So again, he's trying to play the whole house. And when people get wind of that and they pick up on that, it's like, you can't be aligned with all of us. So which one of us are you betraying?
Yeah. Also,
I think
Taran. Taran, I was going to ask you, I feel like the quiet part that they're leaving out here is that, she didn't get a ton of content, but his connection to Leah is also something that's driving a wedge between him and Chelsie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think it's a lot of things. It definitely goes back to Quinn turning on the Pentagon. For players like Chelsie and Cam, who felt so comfortable with that power structure, for Quinn to turn on it for seemingly no reason, just really put a fear in their minds of this guy could do anything. He did a thing that didn't make sense to them. And I think that is just generally the case with players like this sometimes, where like Quinn is so willing to let people make moves against him and still be their best friend and still play the game and do whatever he wants, which means like in the minds of players who are playing, like I would say maybe a more regular game, who are like, they like who they like and they don't like who they don't like, and they'll tend to adjust their strategy accordingly for the most part. A player like Quinn seems completely erratic and unpredictable. Like the fact that Leah was able to completely betray him, trash talk him earlier in the game, and then like use the veto against his will on his HOH, and she's his closest ally right now, is weird. It's hard to predict and like wrap your head around. So he can say all he wants and you can like him all you want, but like at the end of the day, you don't know what he's gonna do. And the one thing you do know, the one consistent thing about Quinn is that he loves Leah, and that's a problem.
Right, and that's what Chelsea's fear is. Can I trust what he says? Because again, he should be wanting to get her out, and he still wants to hang with her. So then, why would I believe he's going to be loyal to me? And I've tried to work with him without being dishonest, and she's been dishonest, and he still wants to work with her. So what is up with that?
He should be throwing her under the bus. Throwing
her under the bus like she's done him, because she was dogging him the week before Joseph went on the block. She was sitting there talking about Quinn to everybody, talking about how he couldn't really be trusted and they might want to consider him. And then she sat there with Joseph and act like she didn't know what was going on. Leah is a snake.
Hey, Rob, this YouTube video might get flagged. I didn't know we were going to be talking about somebody blowing up the Pentagon on 9/11. Yeah, you might have to check this one out. Quinn might get us in trouble with the YouTubers that
yeah, definitely
it's
Quinn.
a tough one. Tough spot.
Listen, that's on the BB producers. They should have screened that alliance name.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this OTEV. History was made tonight, Felicia.
Oh my God. That was crazy.
I
do think they asked the question bad. I can see why everybody was confused.
Jordan Kalish level, poorly worded question.
Yes, because they were saying earlier that they said what man got or didn't get to play, but they didn't say that. They just said what individual did not get to play in the first HOH. And so to think that everybody missed that but Mackensy that went out in round one, that is crazy.
If 5 people got it wrong, it's a bad question.
It's a bad question.
Or it's a really good question. Because they said round one of the HOH, 2 people were able to had to sit out of that. One person did not participate who was not here. Who was that person? The other person who didn't participate who was here is literally here. Chelsie is right there. She knows she didn't participate in round one. She just forgot that it was round one. She's wearing a big ass microchip for the whole week and forgot why she was wearing a microchip.
No, that's the evidence that it was a bad question. That Chelsie, who didn't participate, didn't even know it was her.
These people are dumb as a box of rock. I'm joking. These people, listen, the trash panda
it was a misleading question. It really was.
Yes.
The trash panda called them all dumb. Zimbach not gonna have no type of material or anything by the time he gets to them, because the entire veto competition was them getting called stupid because they forgot who got put out in round one.
Here's the thing though. Like yes, the question is a little confusing, but this is basically a multiple choice question. Like they were picking up Cedric over and over, throwing them away. And never thought, Cedric also didn't compete in the HOH competition.
Yeah,
right.
Like the question, even a trick question is not as much of a trick question if the answers are all in front of you. It's like, who wants to be a millionaire? And you can see all 4 of the answers and you go, ooh, Tucker didn't play. You should also look at the other ones and be like, oh, you know what? Cedric also didn't play. Hold on,
when
let me
they
think
kept
about
picking up
this.
Cedric, it should have registered. Oh, wait a minute. Cedric had the costume on. He didn't get to play at all. So like Mackensy said, now again, she's the bright one out of the bunch, out of all of those guys, Quinn and Chelsie and all them. And Mackensy is the only one that said, well, actually, no, we got put out in the first round of the competition. But he literally did not get to play at all. So it was a play on words, and it tricked all of them, and she won.
I mean, the irony here is that, like, Quinn went out on this question. I mean, and everyone did, but like Quinn especially, if Quinn ends up on the block and Quinn ends up going home this week, it really is like Tucker's final revenge on Quinn.
Yes.
That like
yeah.
Quinn could not get Tucker out of the brain and enough to, and he got the question wrong because he was thinking too much about Tucker. He lives rent free up there.
Yeah.
Now, Felicia, do you think it's possible that like one person starts looking for Tucker and then like, oh, okay, it's Tucker, and everybody starts looking Tucker, even if they might have thought Cedric?
Yeah, because they're figuring, well, if everybody's looking for Tucker, that has to be the right answer, and it just still never registered. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Rob,
because that's exactly what Sari did in our OTEV. She was the first one back, and she had the wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
She was the only one that had the wrong answer, and everybody else had the right answer. And when she got up there and realized she had the wrong answer, and she ran back down, it was like, but she couldn't get back up there in time.
Yeah. Well, this is partially why I'm upset with the edit of this competition, because obviously the main thing is it went one round. We didn't need 2 full segments on the veto competition.
So long.
But the second part is that they spent 2 full segments on 1 round of OTEV, and they didn't even show the most entertaining part of this competition, which is that MJ told this story that she went up there with Cedric in her hand, saw everyone else doing something different. She was like, wait a minute, am I wrong? She's up there with Angela. She says to Angela, hey, did I get this wrong? Is this the right answer, Cedric? And Angela looked over at her and went, yeah, it's right. You're right. Don't worry about it. She lied to MJ, thinking that MJ had the wrong answer, thinking she was tricking MJ into answering the wrong thing. She was so proud of herself then when she answers Tucker, and then MJ answers Cedric, and then it turns out Cedric was right. This is so funny, and it's not in the episode.
It's not in the episode. It's not in the episode.
And MJ still used the veto on this woman?
Dummy. She wants to use the veto on somebody who just lied to her to make her lose the competition.
That's what I'm saying.
MJ
something in this
just
game,
lied to you.
This whole season, everybody using the veto and bringing Angela down for whatever reason. You gotta wonder if some behind the scenes just saying we need Angela to stay in the house.
To me, it would be different if Angela was the one person who told her the truth. Because then you say, you know what? I'm gonna do you a solid. You save me, let me save you. I think we can start working together. The last thing this woman did was lie to you, and you're like,
right?
Damn, I think I gotta keep her around. I don't know. It's like, what do you do? What do you think she's gonna do the next time she gets a chance? She's gonna lie to you because she's not loyal to anyone. I would have a very hard time voting for Angela in the final 2. But honestly, the way these people are playing, they're not playing like leaps and bounds better than she is either. So I mean, depending on who she's sitting by, she has a good chance. I'd say as long as there's a couple people that she won't beat. I don't see any world where she does. But MJ, this is looking funny in the light, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
that's why I say if Angela gets up there, though, if she ends up in one of those final 2 chairs and she talks, if she sells herself well like Jag did, she could easily win this. Because the first thing she should say is, since week 1,
my hands
y'all
are
have been
covered in your blood.
Exactly. You've been trying to get me out the house. I had 3 different people pull me down with a veto, this and that. I didn't even win a comp, in the vetoes, but y'all kept pulling me down. I was able to convince you to keep me. Why shouldn't I win?
Mm-hmm. Jag straight lied.
Brother.
Yeah. Taran, do you think that maybe they didn't show that because they had this edit lined up where we had like this like genius style reveal of like everybody's talking about it's Tucker, and then MJ is like, I'm the one that remembers in that first comp, and then we like rewind back to this big reveal?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that they set up this idea that like Angela wanted MJ to win. And so because she really thought that MJ was going to use the veto on her, so like why would she try to convince her it was the wrong answer? And it's just like I just feel like you're cutting content for the sake of narrative. Like we should have the content more than the narrative. The content should drive the narrative, not the other way around.
The narrative driving the content.
Yeah, especially when we're losing funny stuff like this. Like the genius style reveal was like, come on.
Yeah. Felicia, just to go back to something that you were talking about with Angela and her speeches, we saw on Thursday night Chemo had a very emotional, impassioned speech that ended up getting MJ to change her vote. Is there something in this house that you think that these people are more likely to change their votes based on a speech?
Yeah, because especially if you're torn and you really don't know which one you want to vote for. Again, working off of emotion, relationship. People can say something that triggers something that makes you say, you know what? I'm not going to evict him. I want him to stay. I want him. It's kind of like where when I was HOH and Heisen wanted me to get rid of Matt. And I just felt like at that time, even though I thought Matt was a threat, but at that time, I thought his death platform was bigger than putting him out of the house right then. So then when Heisem dug his heels in and was trying to convince everybody else to convince me that on my HOH I had to put out Matt, it's like, shut up, Heisem. I don't want to do that right now. And that's why I did what I did. It probably, if he hadn't been so aggressive in trying to make me get rid of Matt, who knows, I might have shifted, but he was just so aggressive in it. And so it's the same thing, people get hung up on little things. I don't know. I don't think that it's just interesting what they're doing. It's interesting what they're doing.
Yeah.
Can I say something bold and maybe courageous?
Uh-huh.
I'm ready for Chemo to go. Chemo can go. I'm look, the man had brought us the most entertaining thing he's ever done on this show was that speech. And then since then, we've seen nothing from Chemo. He just be chilling in the 3. Bring me Quinn any day. Because Quinn is messy. Quinn giving us different storylines.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm happy Chemo made it to jury. I'm happy his speech worked. It was a cool moment. You flipped 2 votes during your speech. Great. But also do something. Please make a move or something. Just this. It feels like he's just like gonna just mosey on to with T-Core and Rabina to the final 3 and just lose. And to that, I say, what are you doing? Why did we sign up for this?
Right.
Well, have you heard him sing though? Because
I have heard him sing.
Quinn singing is more like
Yeah. But you know what? Chemo is a wonderful person and he has an incredible story, but that's not always the best TV.
So
right.
It's actually awful TV. Like we barely go to Chemo for anything on the show at all. Nobody is talking about, they talk about Chemo as a threat, but more like because he's taking up a spot in that, because of that trio, right? They're like, oh yeah, this trio
he's got a good social game. They all like him.
Right. So to let him get to the end for just being social, to me, I'm like, you're giving him a pass. You're giving him a free pass. You need to be coming after this trio. He's not even the biggest threat in the trio, but I imagine if you were to get rid of one of them, you might be able to pick up this number. It might be able to help you out. But instead, they're just like letting Chemo kick it. I really think that although Quinn is probably a bigger threat than him, because Quinn actually wants to win the game and it's making self-interested moves. I think as far as my TV viewing pleasure and even just kind of, entertainment purposes, Chemo can go.
Felicia, that's okay if Chappell says Chemo is boring, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Chemo.
I mean,
yeah.
You could have been nice.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know that I say I think he's boring. He's not as entertaining as Quinn, absolutely not, or Angela. Angela does all that fake crying, and I just be cracking up. Chemo is just so loud when he gets in the diary. He does all of that. He is a good strategist, though. Chemo, I think, like I said, I think he's played a good game in the sense that he's friends with everybody, and he has stayed loyal to the Rubina and the T-Core. It could go either way. I could see them actually surprising Chemo and catching them off guard this week and letting them go, though. Yeah. But I think they realize that if they do that, though, again, so you got Leah and Quinn. You got that double right there. You got T-Core and Rabina. You've got Mackensy, and I don't know, Mackensy, she's aligned with Chelsie. She's aligned with Leah and Quinn. She's kind of aligned. I think the only one she's actually really not aligned with, if T-Core or Rubina end up on HOH, Mackensy's going on the block. They're the only ones that really don't have a true connection with her. That's why I really am surprised that they aren't going to try to get rid of Quinn versus Chemo versus Quinn, because Mackensy doesn't have any alliance with the T-Core, Chemo, and
Rubina.
Now, we haven't talked much at all about Cam tonight. He had kind of a quiet episode, except for that he had this very sweet moment where he explained some of his tattoos, and he talked about his mom who passed. So I thought this was like a really nice moment for Cam on the show.
Cam has really, really played now, initially for about the first 4 weeks, it was like, Cam, you ain't even playing. You can go.
Mm-hmm.
But then he won a comp. He won a veto.
Mm-hmm.
And he started to come alive about week 4, week 5, when he kept getting put on the block, and he realized, okay, wait a minute now. I'm gonna have to actually win something, or I am gonna go home. They're starting to look at me as not a game player, and so he has come alive. But I think it really is just his personality, almost like a T-Core. They really are just low key, quiet people. They aren't real chatty, but they align themselves and strategically play the game where it has kept them in the game. And then when they needed to win, they've won. And I don't know. I don't know if he somehow got lucky enough to land in the final 2 chairs, if they would give him the money. I think he's played a really good game, and I don't even know if I'd say he's floating. He's just being Cam.
Yeah.
I think Cam is less boring than Tico. Than Chemo. To Chemo. But yeah, it put both of them in there. To Chemo, they born together. Yeah. But
Chappell, they're getting him ready. He's about to be the leading man of the show.
Yeah, it does really feel like they're setting him up to be,
they're building him up. Yeah.
They're building him up to kind of be like this one remaining straggler almost. Once you get Quinn out of the house, or Chemo, or Angela, the people who they kind of view as like in the middle. Then yeah, if people are coming after the trio, then you're gonna start looking at Cam as probably a valuable piece. We need to vote. He also potentially could win a challenge if the challenges get more athletic like they were during your season, Miss Felicia. And so I could definitely see Cam being somebody who they can really start to thrust into the spotlight, and potentially even getting that America's favorite player vote if it goes right. Because right now, I think if we're looking at the people in the jury alone, I'm taking Tucker out of the contest right now, even though I don't think he doesn't have a chance at all to win. But I think that if you're looking at the people in the jury, I think Cam's star is rising at the right time. And sometimes that's all it takes, right? To just be popular when it's time, when you're front of mind, when it's time to vote. I think if Cam continues like this, he could potentially be in that spot.
And he's playing the game right in the sense that, my mind goes blank. Chelsie likes him, genuinely likes him. And he's flirting with Leah and Mackensy. And so he could, if he maneuvered his way to the end, and then all of a sudden the last, one HOH one or two more times and won a couple of vetoes, he could flip the script on this, and he could become the front runner easily.
Okay, I want to invite the chat to ask some questions for Felicia here. Then we will get into, let's do the live feed spoilers. Let's talk about what we think is going to happen Thursday night, eviction night. Tomorrow night, join us at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. And so let me start off with a question from our great friend Sarah Cupcake. Says, Felicia, who for this season would you want to align with in the Big Brother house? Is there anybody?
I probably off the cuff would have tried to align with, at the beginning of the show, I liked Kenny, Quinn, and Chelsie. Now, if I were in there, I'd probably, because everybody flip-flopping and doing so much crazy now, I'd probably be going with a Chelsie, T-Core, and Rubina.
Okay. Why sweet Kenny K? What did you see about him?
Yeah, he's a freaky frog, Miss Felicia.
I think he resonated with me because he's a cop, and I used to be a cop.
Okay.
And being an older person, you know, some wisdom there. He just seemed like a guy that would have been somebody that I would have resonated with going in. But now again, after that first week, and maybe I could have been in there and said, man, you got to stop saying out loud that you don't want to be here. That is a negative. Somebody needed to say that to him, because I would have said, Kenny, stop saying that out loud.
Would you have seen through his
even if that's
facade
how you
as a
feel,
food
stop
truck?
saying that out loud, right?
Would you have known he was a cop?
I might have picked up on that. Because he had his demeanor, that very kind of, although that's not me, but that standoffish, you know, just kind of watching everybody. Yeah, he kind of had the demeanor of a cop.
Okay.
Miss Felicia, did you know he was a swinger?
Wait, swinger the way I think swinger is?
Swinger, like he wanted to get out that house for a reason.
For what's this? No, I didn't know he was a swinger. I don't even know how to answer that, but I'm gonna leave
Sweet
that
Kenny
one alone.
K, they call him that for a reason.
Really?
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Allegedly. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right. Let's go to Stockton, Florida. Felicia, would you ever play with Angela in an all-star season? And would you ever use edible glitter on food?
I guess if glitter is edible, I'll try anything. I mean, that sounds kind of fun to me. Put on some cupcakes or something. I don't know about food, but on something sweet or dessert or something, yeah.
Okay.
Would I play with Angela in All Stars? Yeah, because I think I could bring Angela down and say, girl, you got to learn to shut up.
Okay, you could bring Felicia. Look, I've seen a few people try to do what you're talking about, and it hasn't gone well for them.
But I think
you could do it.
I think me being older than Angela, I could connect with Angela. See, she ain't listening to them young kids, but I think she might hear me because I'm older than her.
I don't know. Now, Taran, after the Leah thing, I feel like Angela's gonna turn on Felicia.
Yeah, she's gonna watch Felicia on the cameras. Felicia's gonna be talking to Mr. B, and Angela's gonna be like, "Who is this Mr. B you're talking about? Who is it code for? I know you have a secret funnel too. Who's the Mr. B, Felicia?"
But see, all it would take would be for Angela to go goofy on me one time, and I would have that one-on-one conversation with Angela and say, you can do all this crazy in the house with all these other people. Don't you go there with me. This is not going to work out.
Sit her down like he's not jagged down in that.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. Fireworks. Jeremy says, Felicia, would you use the veto on Angela?
Never.
I'm going to say, Miss Felicia, don't play with me. Do not play with me, ma'am. I was going to say, listen, no. If she sits on that block, she needs to go home. It's time.
If she sits on that block, she going out the door.
Reagan wants to know, what do you think about the cooking this season? There were a lot of cooks this season.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to do a lot of meals as a group. So they really kind of do a lot more individual stuff. Every once in a while, even when they make stuff for the house, it's still not the whole house. There's still other people that are doing their own thing. But they didn't even give them an island. They don't even have very much room to prepare and cook food. I would have been really disappointed and frustrated if I was in there this season with how they laid that house out in the kitchen.
How did you feel about Lisa sprinkling all that glitter in everybody's food every time they turned around without their consent?
Well, now that was goofy. It's like you don't do that. Right, that was goofy. I'm not sure what the purpose of that was. And that, you can't mess with people's food. You cannot mess with people's food.
Would you have eaten Angela's charcuterie board if she was a have-not?
I wouldn't have. No. Because I'll be honest, I was tickled and I said, that is kind of rude of those guys to eat her food when she's a have-not, and that was actually her HOH food. That was rude to me because now, in fact, I had my husband cracking up. I said, see, they wouldn't have done that to me because I remember the week that I was HOH and, there's some stuff you say, hey, if you guys want any of the stuff that I wanted, I I took. Remember you talked about your pockets and the drawers? I had my liquids
Yeah, I
in my
forgot
room.
about that.
I had my jelly beans in my room. I had the salami and stuff, the stuff that I liked. I put it to the side and said, this is mine. Don't mess with this. This is mine.
Mhm.
Y'all can have what's out here. This is mine. So I would have been hot being an HOH and you eating my food. Oh, hell no. I would have been hot just like Angela.
Okay, Metal Mama 1987 asks, can any of us see Leah riding a dirt bike? Quinn says she'll forgive him if he gets Leah a dirt bike when he wins the 750K. Leah
talking
on a
about?
yellow dirt bike, sick nasty.
What's he
I
talking
don't
about?
see her on a dirt bike. I don't see her on a dirt bike.
Did she express the need to have one of those?
Taryn,
Like, why
does
is
Leah
that
want
his...
a dirt bike?
Listen, I think if Quinn thinks a dirt bike is going to be enough, I don't think he knows Leah. I think that Leah will be like, how much did this cost of the 750K that you want exactly?
Right.
Right.
She probably want a car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need at least 50% here.
And he's using his dirt bike to apologize for campaigning for himself. He's not actively going and targeting Leah. He's like, I'll apologize for advocating for myself with the dirt bike after I win the money. No, apologize to her after you get her voted out so you don't go home. You know, like at some point
Right.
you have to start attacking her game the same way. Miss Felicia, you pointed out, she's been taking this man's game for weeks. She's still kind of doing it. And so for him to come in and be like, okay, she's gonna be mad at me for defending myself, but I guess I'll buy her something. You don't owe her nothing. Stand
You don't
up.
owe her nothing. Because
Dear
when the
God.
opportunity presents itself, she gonna throw you under the bus.
Yeah, and he was like, oh man, I'm going to have to throw Leah under the bus.
time.
And like, was
We're
throwing
waiting.
Leah under the bus in the room with us? Because I didn't see it. Like, where was it?
Right. Oh, you guys, let me get my charger out. My phone has 8%. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Right back. Sorry,
Okay.
audience.
You're good. All right. Why don't we hit the spoiler music while Miss Felicia goes and gets the charger, okay? From Mr. B. Please bring Felicia a charger. And in the meantime, let's talk about spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
A spoiler.
warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
Spoiler.
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
All right. Oh my God, Taran, I'm on pins and needles. What is gonna happen with the veto?
Oh man, is it gonna be Quinn or Leah that goes on the block? You know, Leah, the person that wasn't in the episode at all. That one. Is it gonna be her? No, it's not gonna be her. MJ used the veto on Angela, and Quinn was named as the replacement nominee.
Uh-huh.
Shocker.
Not great for Quinn.
Not great.
And that's been pretty much it. There wasn't a big reaction from Quinn because it's Quinn. He has been talking to people. They feel bad for him, but they do still plan to vote him out. Leah really took it harder. She's been kind of isolating herself and has been, you know, a lot of people are talking about Leah as a target moving forward.
Right.
But they're also noticing that there's, you know, another trio in the house and that maybe they should be looking at that other trio as well. Quinn has been doing his campaign tonight, but still refuses to throw Leah under the bus too hard. Still campaigning for this 5 that includes Leah, and they do not want Leah. And so that is still the sticking point for the people he's campaigning to, which is that he can say he's going to be loyal to us all he wants, but at the end of the day, we just know he's too loyal to Leah. So
there's
problem.
there's 9 people, right? So we have 6 votes. And so 3, and then Chelsea's gonna break the tie if it's 3-3.
Yes, and Chelsie has said she will break the tie to evict Quinn. So theoretically, he needs 4, which would be Leah, Angela, Cam, and MJ. And he's not really getting Cam or MJ unless he also gets the sign off from Chelsie. So basically, he needs all 3 of Chelsie, MJ, Cam. Plus, he needs Leah to keep Angela on board. He's kind of gotten Leah, or Leah's kind of gotten Angela on board, but despite making some progress with MJ at times, he has not really made a dent with Cam, and Chelsie remains with that sticking point of Leah as a problem for him.
Mm-hmm. And if Quinn goes this week, Leah will probably go next week. I think you'll have Quinn go. If Quinn goes this week, then you'll have Leah and Angela, I believe, will go next week, depending on who the HOHs are.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is Leah's fault.
Did Leah winning the veto end up knocking out her, Quinn, and Joseph?
No.
Her using the
Quinn
veto.
putting up Joseph was the let's because we are talking about Leah using the veto, but like Quinn putting up Joseph is so much the problem. Like we should not lose sight of the fact that Quinn should never have put Joseph up in a million years. That is what we should be focusing on, because that is truly the issue here.
I understand.
Quinn put Joseph up based on little tidbits that Leah was feeding him. Leah wanted Joseph to go. She was pretending like she wanted Joseph to stay. She wanted Joseph to go.
Yeah,
I don't think Leah wanted him to go necessarily. I think
she liked that they were fighting. You know, she liked that they weren't connected. Like they could have locked that alliance in of 3, but they were both trying to be an alliance of 2 with Leah. She wanted to have both pairs.
Olive oil, Bluto, Popeye syndrome.
Yeah, and instead of saying the 3 of us are a team, don't put up Joseph because he is working with me. You were working with me. We're all working together. Quinn is leveraging this relationship with Joseph and saying, Leah, I need you to not do something. I need you not to use the veto. And if you use it, I have to put up Joseph, kind of almost like to punish you or to threaten you so that you don't go and do this thing. Quinn did not feel that loyalty to Joseph until after Joseph got on the block. And then when Joseph goes home, that's when Quinn, that's why the face he made when Joseph goes home, where he's like, it's like the room is spinning. I really thought, Quinn, you did this to yourself. But also, when did you start giving a damn about Joseph? Because y'all have been like frenemies this entire time, but at no point have him and Joseph been like in lockstep. You know, it's always been Leah as this middleman. So I thought Quinn screwed up, but Leah, why did you save Angela? Why did you need to have Angela in jury so bad? I think Joseph would have been better for you in jury anyway.
Yeah, and it didn't make sense. She says, I want to save Angela because I know I'll get her jury vote. Well, that's still only one damn vote.
And you don't know that because Angela's crazy.
Angela crazy. You don't know who Angela giving her vote to.
So the thing about Leah saving Angela was that it should have been the nail in the coffin for Chemo, or at least one of the people in the trio, because Angela was looking too much like the target at the time, and losing Angela was not good for Leah's game. If she had used that veto and Quinn had made any kind of logical decision with the renom and put like T-Core up or something like that, then Chemo leaves. And Leah is in a really good spot where she's got Joseph, Angela, Quinn, and one of the trio is gone. And so things are looking way better. In my opinion, the issue is Quinn nonsensically putting up Joseph to please the rest of the house. If Joseph is still here, Joseph is the target. That's why you don't take out the target for everyone else on your HOH, because then you can't compete the next week. And they have no more targets to go after, except for you. And so it's like, you know, it's like blaming Rachel for not stopping Howie from going after James. You know what I mean? It's like, it's still Howie's call. It was still a terrible play as the HOH.
All right. Is there any hope for Quinn, Taran?
I mean, there's always hope.
Yeah.
I think he goes home.
Look, you never know. We've seen people survive the block. Miss Felicia, one of the queens of surviving the block.
I was on the block 8 times.
Yes. And this has been a house where they like to, this is a fluid situation up until the last minute.
Yeah. Very much so.
There's been very few Thursdays where there hasn't been drama going into this vote.
Well, and that's what we realized in our season 2. It was Monday, really people Sunday was quiet. You had the veto competition. Sunday was quiet. Monday after the nominations, then Tuesday and Wednesday was all about conversating. And up until Thursday, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, people were still deciding, flip-flopping, trying to convince you to shift. And so we were always all over the place. It was ridiculous.
It was.
It would actually be exhausting.
It
You
was
was
exhausting watching y'all.
You dreaded Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Oh yeah, we were in hell watching y'all. We can only imagine how it felt just being in your position. These people have approached the game a lot differently, but it's still just as chaotic. You know, it's still got to the point where got so many people waffling and wishy-washy about their decisions. You got people who know they need to do a thing, but are going to wait till the last minute to do it. So it's been exciting to watch for sure, but definitely tiring at points.
I guess what I don't understand is that why is this only just a referendum on Quinn? Like, why isn't anybody actually worried about chemo?
Well, I think they are, but I think for now, they don't want to get rid of chemo because they're afraid that it's too early. And if T-Core or Rubina win HOH, then if they get rid of chemo, they know that they're coming after them. So everybody's trying to save that for a few more weeks down the road. They're worried about that 3. And like I said, if Quinn goes home, now you got T-Core and Rubina, and they have the ability to win HOH. If one of them wins, then Chelsie knows she might go up on the block. Cam knows he might go up on the block. Mackensy knows she might. So they're worried about next week. And you always have to be worried about next week.
Miss Felicia, what are you eating?
Let me put my tooth in.
Ah!
I'm eating a turtle. You know the candies, the pecan turtles with the
the chocolate turtle. I seen it. Got stuck in your teeth. I said, "Ma'am, what's happening?"
So when I went and got my charger, I went and got me something to snack on. I told you I always got something
smart.
to snack on.
Yeah, listen, she's not gonna let anyone eat those turtles.
No. I'm sorry. I was hoping you guys couldn't really tell that I was.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, I heard you sucking your teeth. I said her phone didn't die. She went to go get some food. I look because I'm gonna pull that next time.
My charger. I was on in fact, I'm on. I had to get my charger, but I forgot
me too.
I had that candy in there too.
Rob, I got to go get my charger too. You want something back from the stove? I'll be back.
I'm good. All right, I've got some more questions for you, Felicia. Epic Gamers, so what are your thoughts on the cleanliness of the house this season? Love ya.
Absolutely, I think, and thank you to that person. I love you too. The house seems very clean this year in comparison to how our house was.
Interesting.
Very clean. I'm looking around thinking, man, these guys do a great job of, unless they're just not showing the mess, particularly the bathroom. The bathroom was filthy when we were in there. These guys, they seem to keep the guys and the girls seem to keep a pretty
Well, they
neat
voted
place.
out all the guys. That could be part of it.
They still got 3 left. Actually, in our house and in this house, the guys were cleaner than the girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the girls are sloppier. I'm telling you something. Ooh, Lord. Yeah, the girls are usually sloppier than the guys.
Okay. Ms. Brown Sugar asks, Robin Chappell, do you think that the Dogs at the Crib account is run by BB Twitter fan, not his actual friends? We talked about this on the slop the other night. Chappell, have you seen any evidence to make you think that the Dogs at the Crib are the real Dogs at the Crib yet?
Okay, so apparently the actual Dogs at the Crib, not this Twitter account, but another of the dog, a singular dog at the crib, his Twitter account has popped up, and it is now in cahoots with the Dogs at the Crib account. So it seems like we have located Cam's actual friend. I don't think the Dogs at the Crib account is his friend, but we have located a friend as well who's been retweeting and is now getting active in Big Brother Twitter. So I don't know if the Dogs at the Crib know.
Bush, do you follow the Dogs at the Crib?
I don't think so. But
that Cam every week shouts out his Dogs at the Crib, and now they're on Twitter.
Okay,
yeah, there's a Twitter account for the Dogs at the Crib.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a shenanigans.
Look that up tomorrow.
Oh, you're gonna laugh. It's a good one, but yeah, it seems like they're all behind him. I'd argue that that's probably not the case. Cam has made it very clear that his people do not watch this show, but they're probably here to support their boy now that they're aware of it. So I don't know how we found the Dogs at the Crib, but they're here to stay now.
Okay.
Oliver wants to know, was Quinn really the best renom option for Chelsie? Taran, could she have gone in any different direction here?
There's an argument for Leah.
The only other one would have been Leah. And honestly, I think she could have put up Leah because that would have shut Quinn down, and it would force him to then still have. Then he wouldn't have anybody else in his corner, and then he'd be more loyal to them.
Yeah, I think Leah is more likely to hold a grudge against Chelsie, which is dangerous. But Quinn is a little more likely to win a competition theoretically. So like there is some logic to going Quinn first, and maybe just handling Leah really well. The problem is Chelsie has not handled Leah really well.
No, none of them have.
Yeah, Leah is really holding a grudge and really wants to go straight at Leah, straight at Chelsie next week. She's talked about putting Chelsie on the block next to T-Core, knowing that T-Core is the only person Chelsie would leave against, which is probably true, and very dangerous for Chelsie if Leah was able to actually pull out that win.
And I think people are also upset that I think T-Core now is the only one that hasn't been on the block. Has Leah been on the block?
Leah has not yet.
So Leah and T-Core are the only two that have not been on the block.
Yep.
Yeah. And sometimes you go up on the block just for that reason. People like to humble you and say, "Oh yeah, I don't want you to say you played a perfect game or whatever the case. So I got to put you up." Or maybe it's your time. You know, other people have gone up. You can put somebody on the block and say, "Well, you know, I didn't have a lot of options, and you haven't gone up yet." So yeah, we're running out of numbers. And if I'm Leah, I'm looking directly at Chelsie and T-Core. And if I'm Chelsie, I'm probably looking directly at Leah.
And see, I don't understand why everybody thinks that, I don't want to just keep putting the same person up, that way we don't get dirt on our hands. Well, everybody ought to be. That's why I was upset last year with nobody ever wanted to put Bowie Jane up. Why are you guys not putting Bowie James behind on the
Bowie
block?
Jane.
Yeah.
That's Bowie Jane.
Oh, that used to piss me off.
We know. We know.
Yes.
Okay. Taran, anything else we should know tonight?
I don't think so. I think it's looking fairly straightforward coming into the vote as of right now. Quinn doesn't plan to give up, but again, I think his only Hail Mary is throwing Leah under the bus, and he's not really doing that. So
or battling back into the house.
Or battling back, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I hope he stays. I hope Quinn stays tomorrow night.
You do?
I do. I think he's bringing more to the show.
Yeah, I do think that the house is going to get real quiet and real boring, and they just may actually do something. The AI, Ainsley, may do something that keeps him after he goes out, just because at the end of the day, they need content. They need people to be watching. They need people to feed them,
and
good viewership.
T-Core and Rubino will be so sad. They'll be so mad at everybody who voted to keep Quinn. It could really reignite a bunch of stuff going on in this house.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Felicia, this was such a delight to have you here with us. Thank you so much for making time to come on and talk with all of us.
No problem. I enjoyed it. I'll come back anytime. I hope to see you guys in person one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't play with me.
If you ever come to Atlanta, for real, if you ever come to Atlanta, just look me up, let me know in advance so we can figure out.
We're overdue to come to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, let me tell you all what's coming up next. We have got, of course, be sure to check out what Taran has going on in the morning on a live feed update, robhasawebsite.com/BB26 or robhasawebsite.com/subscribe for all of our podcast feeds. Then tomorrow night, Andy Herron will be with us for our eviction recap. We'll find out what Andy, always having hot takes, will be sharing those with us tomorrow night. So join us 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Oh, and then tomorrow, the baby boy, Bryce Isaiah, will be with me live at 3 p.m. We'll be taking a look at this brand new cast of Survivor. Felicia, Bryce, he just looks at the pictures, tells us how everybody's going to do just based on their cast photo.
Wow.
He has a gift.
Accurate?
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
You're not going to want to miss us live at 3 p.m. Eastern for Issa Look Survivor 47. Also, today we dropped our Talking with T-Bird, Zoe Zanadakis from Survivor Marquesas, one of the OGs. Very fun interview with Zoe on the latest Talking with T-Bird. Plus, Taran, what's going on? The Circle is back.
The Circle is back. Alert.
I watched the first 3 episodes today.
How was it?
Look at that. All right. Well, Felicia, we've got some coverage. We have dropped our recap of the first 4 episodes. Once you finish that 4th episode, it's a good one too. The 4th episode, probably the best one of the bunch.
Okay.
So yeah, we're talking about it. Circle coverage is back, and we're having fun. There's some funky Circles nonsense going on.
Okay, check that out. And then Chappell, what's coming up on Below Deck?
It's crazy.
Ned.
The season is almost over. So we have, I think we're on our last charter. Sasha and I just talked about it. We got some love triangles going on, of course, because it wouldn't be Below Deck if we didn't. And we got a proposal coming for the finale. And so tune in every week to see Sasha and I go live. We've been going live a little bit later just because of work constraints, but we are here on YouTube, on the RHAP YouTube account, talking about Below Deck. And it's been a great time. Below Deck Med, check it out. Season 9 has been great.
Yeah, also check out Chappell and I talked about the premiere of Outlast Season 2. We're going to be wrapping up all of Season 2 of Outlast coming up this weekend on Nothing But Netflix if you want to catch up with that before we get there. robhasawebsite.com/patron for access to all of our exclusive patron shows, including the slop, including the Q&A. We've got also our tickets are on sale with the patron discount at robhasawebsite.com/patron. And then this Friday night has something very exciting to tell our listeners about. There's a brand new show coming up on CBS. It's called The Summit. Felicia, have you seen any commercials yet for The Summit?
I don't think I have.
Oh, it's going to be on after Survivor, and I am thrilled that Friday night we've got an exclusive VIP screening. That's right, the virtual internet premiere of The Summit. And we are going to be giving away a ton of great prizes on Friday night. And I'm going to be joined here by my dogs at the crib. Taran and Chappell are going to be with us Friday night. We're going to be watching The Summit live. I'm sorry, we're going to be watching a sneak preview of the premiere episode. They sent it to me early so we can get the RHAP bump. And then I got a list of about 20 CBS prizes that we're going to be giving away during our premiere screening of The Summit. I was trying to show a picture of 6 p.m. Eastern. Go to robhasawebsite.com/summitvip if you want to be there with us. And then let me just see if I can if you give me a second, if I can bring up some of these prizes that we're going to be giving away.
The summit is like, let's climb a mountain and vote each other out along the way, basically.
Oh, I have seen that where they're outside and it looks like aggressive competition and stuff.
Yeah,
aggressive. Yes.
I saw that. There's no way I would.
Here, let me share my screen for a second here. So some of these prizes we're gonna give away. All right. Yeah.
Ooh.
You were.
There you go.
You know, I see people in the chat asking if Taran is Chappell a climber like Taran. No. However, I did climb once with Taran, and so I feel like I'm more than equipped to be here for this live screening. It's gonna be a good time. I can learn some more.
That was training for covering this show, I think.
Yeah, that was the day we.
All right.
He's
Chappell,
gone too high on the summit.
It got too close to summit. Right. Felicia, where can people keep up with you and all of your following of the Big Brother 26?
I usually go live on my Instagram is felicia.cannon.9. My TikTok is I'm on my phone. Go to my Instagram.
Just search.
Go to my Instagram and it has my link tree and it links you to everything else. My YouTube, my Twitter, my TikTok, my LinkedIn. So go to felicia.cannon.9 and go to my link tree and it gives you all the rest of my links.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
everybody.
I believe your TikTok is what, Mama Fee 20,
I think it's Mama
27?
Mama Fee 27 or Mama _ something like that.
If you're not
Yeah.
following Felicia, what are you even doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
what are you doing if you're not following me? I need you guys to go to all my media platforms and hit follow. And
Yes.
trust me,
Yeah.
I connect back with people who follow me.
Okay. All right. Chappell, what's coming up for you?
Hey, you said it. Below Deck every week with Sasha, and to the finale of that show, you and I are talking about Netflix shows. We got Outlast, the rest of the season that you and I are going to be covering soon on the Nothing But Netflix podcast. So check that out. You can also catch me on my podcast, Recap Kickback, where every week we're talking about different movies and TV shows. Mari, as you know, is my co-host over there, and so we've been talking about different shows. Puya was my co-host for Bel Air season 3 coverage, and so that is out as well. The finale of that podcast is out on YouTube. Recapkickback.com /YouTube will take you there, or youtube.com /@recapkickback. And then
Loving Bel Air.
oh yeah, great times.
Okay.
Check out the podcast. Like I said, it's a great time. Follow me on all social media platforms as well @recapkickback. And then stay tuned. AJ Norris is going to be joining me to talk about Fight Night for this entire season coming up. Being Camille AF will be another guest on that podcast too. So we got a lot coming your way on Recap Kickback. And so I'm very excited and hoping that a lot of people join us and subscribe to the podcast.
Okay. Great job tonight, Chappell. And then Taran, what's coming up for you?
Find me on Twitch, hanging out, watching these episodes. Check out the live feed update tomorrow. The Circle, we got scripted coverage, Rings of Power, Tastemakers, good stuff.
Yep.
Fine.
And don't forget, we've got our Survivor preview podcast. We're previewing 9 days in a row of the Survivor 47 cast. Be sure to check out all of those previews and get ready for Survivor 47 premiere. We've got the draft coming up on Monday night. Taran and Chappell and I will be there for that one also. So be sure to check everything out coming up. Take care of a good one. Bye.